Yetta, houses around here are getting so expensive, only cats can afford them.
I don't get you.
Well, it's going to take 9 lives to pay for it.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are honored and a little humiliated right now to be able to have come alongside you for over 30 years, not only selling, buying, and investing in real estate over 3,117 times, but coming alongside you to build your fund, build your finances, build your faith, fitness, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. We're going to discover how playfulness leads to victory and success.
Yes.
Even when making tough real estate decisions and being on that journey of buying, selling, or investing, or any other journey for that matter.
Yeah. And we're continuing this conversation. We believe strongly that having that position of playfulness, that position of lightheartedness makes for a greater transaction, makes for you actually reaching the end goal that you want easier and actually may happen.
And better, like easier, better outcome, and sometimes an outcome versus not getting an outcome.
Yeah. So there's a few things to keep in mind, right? Like problems aren't personal.
Oh, they're generally not. If the septic doesn't work, or there's something wrong with the septic, it's not a personal slight.
No, and even if the buyer's offering you less than what you want, it's not personal.
No.
If the seller counters you higher than you wanted, it's not personal.
Just a different perspective.
Yeah.
We're just coming at it from a different vantage point.
Yeah, they have a different vantage point of the value of the property. Now, our job is to bring them to a meeting of the minds, so to speak.
But levity, humor, kindness, lightheartedness, I'm going to put enjoyment, all of those things into one bucket because laughter is at the center of that.
Yeah.
Right? We're either uptight or we're a little looser, lighthearted.
Well, I think it comes to calmness. That creates a calm in the spirit. It creates a calm in the negotiating, creates a calm in the problem solving. And the other thing I like to do, this is a nice little thing, is sometimes, we get down and people are arguing over an appliance. If it doesn't come with a washer and dryer, I'm not buying it. Or if it's, it's down to the last $1,000 and really a couple $1,000 or $10,000, very subjective in the real estate. And even appraisers can't get it. If they're within a 3 or 4 or 5% of each other, that's a good appraisal.
That's a great appraisal. And we know that, and we've shared this so many times, but I am going to touch on it again. On the same day, on the same house, we've had many times in the last 35 years where we've had multiple offers, right? Sometimes in the height of the crazy market, as many as 20, but most of the time, even if you had 3 or 4 offers, if you have 5 or 6, that's incredible, right? And the spread between top and bottom offers in the height of the market can be up to 30%. Who's right? The answer is yes.
All their perspectives are right.
For them.
And it's which one can the seller live with?
Right. And
usually the highest.
Usually, but not always. Sometimes there's other elements in the offer. So just remembering to keep it light or somewhat fun. That doesn't mean you have to give your house away. That's not the goal. The goal is to sell your house for as much money. And for the buyer, the goal is to buy it for as little money. So being lighthearted about it does change the ability to negotiate.
Yeah, and sometimes we say, this is hard right now. We've run into like 4 problems in a row with the home inspector or whatever. We'll laugh about this maybe in a year or 2. Right now, we're going to cry a little bit, but we're going to handle it. We're going to do what it takes. But in the future, we might laugh about it. And the other thing I love to say is, and I say it to myself, is this going to be a big deal in 10 or 20 years from now?
Right.
Like that extra $1,000 that they want, is that $1,000 in 20 years? I'm going to go, that was fluff. That was like fluff lint out of the dryer. That's how important that was, because my house has gone up double or triple what I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
That last $1,000 was like the lint in your dryer.
Well, even the last 10,000 sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it really is, if it's the right place to be, was it worth whatever the sacrifice was,
sacrifice.
right?
Sometimes it's, I want my child in this school district. Okay, well, after your child attends that school, was the sacrifice worth it?
Yeah.
To have your child in that school for 5 years.
And sometimes I find when we're having a negotiation with another realtor, things start to feel like they're derailing because we're kind of working in opposite directions. Mm-hmm. Even though we're meant to pull it together, sometimes they can get a little intense. And I'm thinking about a time where it just seemed to be becoming adversarial very quickly. And I stopped the realtor and I just said, may I ask, have I done something to offend? Have I said something you didn't like? Is there something that I could be doing differently? And she said, oh, no, it's all fine. And immediately it dropped the defenses. So I didn't think I had done anything, and it lightened the moment. So how do you bring lightheartedness?
Almost humility. Yeah, lightheartedness comes from humility sometimes.
Right. So if you're thinking you want to stay more connected with us, get access to all the great opportunities we have coming along all the time, actually, and even get a hold of these episodes quicker, sooner, faster, then just send us an email together@dekkerteam.com so that we can stay connected between episodes.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I get someone that's fairly rigid, I might give them an elastic band. And ask them to put it around their wrist. And then I say, okay, keep that there. And while we're, booking showings, while we're negotiating offers, while we're negotiating terms, if there's something wrong with the inspection or whatever, that elastic band is there to remind you to remain flexible, because the end destination is the goal. And sometimes we have to put up with a little bit during the journey to get to the end destination.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing is, sometimes you need to call a friend.
Oh.
Call a lifeline. Call another, Yetta calls another realtor sometimes, or I call her. Because if I'm in the thick of it, I'm in the negotiating, or there's a problem and I'm trying to solve it and I just
can't get to the creativity, because in that moment you've lost your lightheartedness. You're in the stress mode, right? We've talked about in the other segments and in other shows where we move into a state where we want to fight.
Yeah, too much cortisol running through my veins for me to think clearly for a creative solution.
And so by tapping into a lifeline, you're actually bringing the humor from outside. So you can borrow somebody else's fun when your fun is all dried up.
Yeah, and they haven't had the stressors, so that quite often their clarity is amazing. You go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? And then the solution's born. People come together. The transaction happens.
The party happens.
The party
I like
happens.
Where you were going with that. The party happens. And the real party happens is when we get to serve you a second or third time. If there's already this great, easy camaraderie going on and the success has already happened, it's that much easier. You don't have to start from the beginning. You start from where you were.
Yeah. So my challenge to you is, when you're thinking of real estate, buying, selling, or investing, call us and let's see if we're a great match. We're grateful that you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together we got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together.